You see, our job is to create the flexibility of time and space to do what's needed without being stuck by a time and a place. I want to share with you today 3 lessons that I wish I'd learned in my 20s and 30s around business. They would have made my life significantly easier. They would have made my business grow a lot faster. Now look, I did well in my 20s and 30s. I built a business, I sold a business. It's not like I was shabby, but these 3 lessons, had I fully learnt them straight away and quickly, I wouldn't have sold my business for what I did. I'd have sold it probably for hundreds of millions of pounds. And so I want to share those lessons with you today. I want you to know that if you're in business, it's not too late to change how you do your business in order to go and put these lessons in place and receive astronomical results. You see, most of these 3, in fact, all of these 3, require nothing more than a willingness and mindset change in order for you to go and have the business, the finance, the bank balance, and the ability to give to the kingdom that I know that you have. So lesson number 1 is my ability to get known by strangers is the determining factor of how successful my business will be. Now, you may well call that marketing, but marketing seems like a big word that people bounce around and they sound very complicated. Marketing is simply the process of getting known by people who don't know you. That could be on social media like this. It could be by walking up to strangers in the mall, shaking their hands. It could be by putting leaflets through doors. It could be by cold calling. There is many ways of getting known. But if you can't get known by strangers, you can't have a business. When I set up my first business, I was wildly optimistic about what it would do, how much money it would make, this, that, and the other. And the result of that wild optimism was I spent a few winters labouring on a building site in the UK, digging holes, carrying cement, mixing cement, carrying bricks. Yeah, it was ugly. Whilst in my evenings and weekends desperately trying to build my business, but not really knowing where to go and what to do next. When I found out that my ability to be known was the most important thing, I started pouring my attention and effort into it. By nature, I'm an introvert. By nature, I'd rather hide behind a book than I would be out in public. But I had to make a decision. Am I going to hide and not have the business I want? Or am I going to choose to be seen and introduce myself to as many people as possible, get known by as many strangers as possible, and have the business I want? When I made that choice, it skyrocketed the business and set me free from the building sites, from the debt, and from the financial struggles. It set me free from the months when sometimes my staff earned more than I do. I think that as we set about building our businesses, growing our businesses, or starting our businesses, that we should probably be putting 70 to 80% of our energy, time, and resources in to getting known by people who don't know us, and then building a relationship with them until the relationship is so strong that they want to buy from us. Lesson number 2 is I wish that I built the business to not be around me. Now, of course, it's quite hard to build a business not to be around me. But so many of us go and build the business and we chain ourselves in the business because we are the expert. We need to feel valued. We need to feel in control. What we're really saying is, Jesus, I don't respect what you did in building your organization. I'm smarter than you are. I'm cleverer than you are. Nobody can do what I can do. That first business, I took people on adventure holidays. It all got a bit busy and a bit much, so I thought, well, I'll employ some guides. And I did. And then I was still full and the guides were busy. And I said, right, I'll double my prices. And I was still full. The problem was that I built it around me, my abilities, my qualifications, and my experiences, as opposed to empowering a bunch of guides to become better, to become as good as I was, and to go and be the celebrities in the business, to free my time up to work on the business, not in the business. You see, your actual job in a business is to become the trainer of people who need to become better than you. Your job is to provide them with the customers and to benefit from the rewards. The next thing is remarkably similar to this, is that if you build your business where you get trapped in your business, you can't grow your business. If you build your business with a trap of time, a trap of a place, a trap of tasks to do, You don't have the flexibility to jump on a plane to somewhere else in the country tomorrow at the drop of a hat to seize an opportunity. You don't have the opportunity to have that coffee or glass of wine with a stranger or somebody who could be useful to you at a moment's notice. And so your job as the business owner is to give away, train, delegate, employ, coach other people to do the things that trap you. At the moment, one of the things I'm thinking about for 2026 is employing a driver. I drive a fair bit most weeks, 6 to 8 hours. Well, that's wonderful, but I could be sat in the back of the car doing coaching sessions, on calls, doing work, having meetings online with people whilst I get driven. You see, our job is to create the flexibility of time and space to do what's needed without being stuck by a time and a place. Now, is that possible instantly? No. But we have to have the mindset of this is the journey we're on. This is the intent of where I need to get to. At the moment, I have a need to go to Florida and Texas. However, with my coaching schedule, I don't have the time to fly there without cancelling thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of clients and putting them off, putting their business after mine, which really means putting them behind me, which goes against love God, love others as thyself. My job in KingdomPreneur is to train 1,000 coaches to be able to coach like I do, to become the supporter of the people who mentor the coaches, but really to become the opportunity seeker who's got the resources, time, and flexibility to go and capitalize on them without being stuck by the chains of the business. So many of us build businesses that become a trap. So many of us left our job because we felt like we were a slave. And then when we step into our business, we just go and become an Israelite within our own business that we've created. But now we're both slave master and slave within the thing that we've built. Because often we say things like, well, nobody can do what I do. Well, that may well be true. What a great opportunity to find people and teach them to do what you do, or teach them to do part of what you do. You see, a business isn't a business unless it has employees. And so if we're going to run around with me, with a couple of minimum wage people, and then call that the business, that's not really being a business owner. Especially if I have to do all the work, that's called being self-employed, which really is just one step above from having a job. And the job as an acronym stands for just over broke. Eventually, if you can't show up, you earn no money. And if you earn no money, you have no business. So those are the 3 lessons that I wish I'd learned sooner. I'd love to know what your top 2 or 3 lessons are in business, and I'd like to put them in the comments beneath. And I'd like you to talk to me in the comments about your dedication to setting yourself free from being an Israelite within your own business, and finally be able to work on your business and grow your business as opposed to work in and try and control everything because you haven't yet found the people to employ who'll do it good enough for you.